I bought this PS3 for only $20. This thing is not only in rough shape, but has the yellow light of death as well. We'll be transforming this worthless PS3 into a gem in this video. I'll show you exactly how I did it step by step. Stick around to see this incredible transformation and learn the secrets to restoring your own PS3. Right away, I want to see what's causing this yellow light of death. Even though we all know what it is, I need to verify first. So hold your horses. Time to get this thing apart and hook up UART to Syscon. Checking Syscon error logs, we all knew what it was going to be. 3034 GPU failure. Well, again, no surprise here. These 90s do not last. So now that we know what's causing this yellow light of death, let's get it delidded and bake for 2 hours so we can take this 90 nanometer off with no issues. Delay goes smooth with no hiccups. Cell had an odd silicon spread, so I couldn't easily get my knife under the IHS. No big deal. Let's just get this thing in the oven. After baking, we just need to wait until this thing gets to temp. After nudging, we confirm that the solder is melted. Let's take this 90 off. We'll clear the pads on the board and then get our RSX ready to reball. Here we're checking resistances before reballing. This is crucial to verifying the 40 will work on the board. Everything checks out. Time to put this thing on the board. The RSX lowering means the solder is melted, and while the solder is melted, we'll nudge the side for good measure. And after doing resistor mod, it's good to go. Display's great. Now we'll swap out NECs and do voltage mods to ensure this thing lasts. After everything's said and done, we're going to put this thing in the ultrasonic cleaner to clean everything up. The main reason why I use an ultrasonic cleaner is to get rid of the flux. We'll put the board back in the oven to dry. After it's done drying, we'll put on new thermal pads. With new thermal pads, this thing is ready to be assembled in its metal caging. Got new thermal pads for the back side as well. Looks good to go. Still works after cleaning. Nice. Onto the case now. We have the memory card flap to deal with first. This thing is just completely busted, so we'll need to replace it. Luckily, we have another top that's broken beyond repair, so we can replace that piece for the memory card cover. After taking this small spring out and the flap out, we'll gently put them back into our top case. Looking good. This bottom case is scuffed bad. We'll have to sand it down to get an even appearance. Here we'll be using 1,000, 1,500, and 3,000 grit sandpaper to achieve this even and smooth surface. This step is mandatory for a lot of these cases, sadly, especially when they have deep scratching. The bottom sticker is going to be destroyed during this process. The sticker was already pretty much gone, so it's not a big deal in this case. I'm sure you could take the sticker off if you really wanted to, but this one was already destroyed. These days, you have to be very conservative with shells. It's getting more and more difficult to get intact backward compatible cases. So preserving every shell you come across is crucial. I try to save any shells I can, no matter how bad the surface condition is. As long as it doesn't have any cracks, I'll try to save it. You can also get new stickers online, so it's not that bad to replace them. If you want to try these methods, I would advise you to do it on shells you don't care about. I would work on junk shells until you get a good finish that you'd want. That's how I started to learn the sanding and buffing process. And while it's not perfect, it'll make terrible condition shells look much better. One day I just realized the amount of junk shells I had laying around, and I wanted to try and save as many as I could. So I started to experiment. This orbital sander makes life much easier. Considering I originally learned to do this by hand, the difference in time and effort is significant, and the results can be much more consistent. After we finish the last sanding grit, we buff the surface until we achieve a mirror finish. This step can be tedious, but the results are well worth the effort. Personally, I've been trying to perfect my craft for a while now. I still have a long way to go, but these results have gotten better and better over time. The more PS3 cases I can save, the better. Good condition cases are just so hard to come by these days. Here's the bottom case being finished up. Looks good with the mirror finish. Now for the top cover. Same process again for this piece. Looking good. Not perfect, but much better from what it was. After buffing, we'll clean these cases because they are filled with dust. I usually use a tub with warm water and soap. Works great for getting rid of caked on dust in hard to reach areas. First we'll dump and pull the bottom shell. I like to do this multiple times. Same thing for the top shell. I want to make sure we get most of the dust. And the top cover is just a quick dip, and it should be ready to go. After rinsing the top and bottom covers for a while and waiting for it to dry, it's time to get this thing back together to see what it looks like. All put together now. Looking good. Much better than what it was, I can say that much. If you guys made it this far, why not check out another one of my videos? Your support is greatly appreciated.